Now that we have the Doctor's House Call medical collection installed for Poser, let's take a look at each prop in the collection and review its capability and function. In the library, there is a tab that allows us to adjust various options for the library. Under Display, we can turn on the Extended Details panel. This will open up a window that will display information about each prop when you select it. In the Figures directory, we have 3 props. These props contain armatures or bone structures so that they can be posed realistically. Selecting the first prop, the bandage, we can see in the extended display the characteristics and description of the bandage. The instructional method will give us information on how to work with the bandage prop. So you can see we load his figure, use Z-rotate to fold bandage sections around body parts, use curve control to smooth folded sections. Other textures are included for kids bandage look. See materials section. So let's go ahead and bring the bandage into our scene. So now that we've zoomed into the bandage has several sections. Each can be posed using the X, Y, or Z rotate. The center section here is the hip of the figure. All of the other bones are parented to this, so that if you move the hip, the rest of the figures will move as well. The bandage is a symmetrical figure. This means that you can pose the left or the right side and then use the figure symmetry left or right to copy the pose from one side to the other. This can save a great deal of time as you only have to work with one side of the bandage, and then you can just copy it to the other. The scale function can be used to change the overall shape of the bandage. For example, if I select the hip and scale with the Z scale, I can create a butterfly look. Scaling the hip in the X direction will increase the size of the cotton. You can also select the entire body and then scale in the Z direction to create more of a wound shaped bandage. Of course, you can scale in the Z to make that a little less. Select the hip to create whatever shape bandage you'd like. Right, so we will zero figure, put us back to where we were. Let's pose the bandage so that it would be wrapped around a wrist. I'll bring the bandage, rotate a little bit here, and I'll bring the bandage off the floor. Select the leftmost section. We'll use the Z rotate to just bend it down a little bit. Then select the next section and bend that down just a little bit more. You'll notice that the surface of each section looks a little flat and unrealistic here. Use the curve control to just round out those straight lines to make it a little bit more smooth. Keep folding the sections and use the curve to just round them out. Next section, just round it out a little bit. And we'll take this as the last section here and we'll round it up just a bit. And now we have the left side posed. Now we'll select the figure symmetry, left to right, yes. And you'll see we've copied the pose from the left to the right. You'll notice that the edges look a little flat. That's because the curve doesn't copy with the symmetry command. So what we need to do then is simply select our sections and use the curve to round out each section a little bit. So it looks the way we want it to look. Like that. So there's a bandage that could go, say, around a wrist. And again, you can align the hip to the body part and then wrap the bandage around the body part if you so desire as well. Now let me show you some of the materials that are included with the bandage. First of all, we'll do just a very quick render of the default bandage. You can see that the bandage has an air hole weave texture to it to give it a realistic look. The underside, you can see, has a sort of a white cotton, and again it has the same type of weave air hole type of material as well. In the materials library, we have a folder for the bandage. In here we have 3 materials. The first is the adult bandage that has the typical orange color weave, which is also the default. We have a cotton texture that can be applied to the bottom or the top of the bandage, and you can apply it to the top if you want to give the bandage kind of a gauze look to it. These are both primitives, and so you can use these on other props as well. The final material is a kid's bandage that has dinosaurs for a kid's bandage look. Using this and the UV maps, you can add any image you like to the bandage. This is great if you want to add your child's favorite character to a bandage or some other image to meet the needs of your scene.